Dakota Dick 12 wants to know, is it bad to have a long stride? Good question pertaining to strides. Is it bad to have a long stride? No. Is it bad to have a short stride? No. Is it bad to force a stride? Absolutely. I think that's one of the way that I perceive a stride, common misconceptions pertaining to the stride is that in order to accelerate, or in order to produce more velocity, power, forward, that it comes from elongating your stride. What I look for is, I use the word authentic. I look for an authentic stride, because everyone's going to have different anatomical structure. Everyone's going to move a little bit different. Everyone's going to have a couple different types of restrictions from a mobility and stability aspect of it. So with that being said, what I look for is efficient drive leg mechanics in the way that the individual loads the drive leg. And then when we look at the timing of when the hips initiate rotation and the movement capacity within the drive phase itself, we want to maintain a load of the drive leg up until, I would say, center point. Again, these aren't really absolutes, but kind of commonalities until the center point. And then that's when the hips initiate rotation. And then when the hips initiate rotation, then the front foot is coming down to touchdown, anchoring down into the ground, which we usually see the hips roughly halfway rotated, trunk neutral. So that's what I would look at in terms of more so absolutes than the timing, or not so much the timing, but the distance of the stride. Okay, so when I look at authentic, I look at, does the individual load the drive leg efficiently? Check, yes or no. Does the individual initiate timing of the hip rotation at a decent time? Check, yes or no. And then does the individual create stretch, separation, through the ability to segment the two rotations at the point in which they anchor down? Now, if that's a short stride, if that's a long stride, to me, it doesn't really matter, because what we're trying to do is create a good amount of stretch from that. I think a lot of times when people try to force a stride, they try to just, stride out longer. They totally bypass the loading phase of the drive leg, and they get a little bit early with their extension, either early extension, or they elevate that extension to try to jump, into their anchor point. When in reality, we want to match the slope. We want to sink our hips as we rotate. So for me, I'm not super big on just teaching stride in general. I'm more so teaching a loading pattern of the drive leg and timing of when the hips should rotate, and then posture at the point in which we anchor down. And the stride, to me, the stride length is just kind of a byproduct of all of those pieces. So good question.